Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This project is a remix of a project I did a few months ago where I learned how to do this cool woven pattern through pieces of wood and kind of combine a bunch of different colors. So I wanted to make a bigger version of this and see what else I could do with it. Use some more exotic woods in the middle. So first step is, of course, cut down all the pieces to size. So I use walnut, katalox, Caribbean rosewood, and then some maple stripes. I really like the look of katalox and the Caribbean rosewood. Some really cool grain pattern. So the first step in this process is to take your base color. For this one, it was walnut, and then use some blue painter's tape, tape off where the two sides are going to overlap. And then I'm just going to use some CA glue to stick the two sides of the tape together so they don't shift. Let that dry for just a second. Sketch out a curve that I wanted to do. And then it is off to the bandsaw with the two pieces stuck together. I also had to create some thin maple strips to fill in the blade width when I made the curve, and then you also get the stripes going through with the brightness of the contrast. So these strips are about 1/8 of an inch thick. So then I rip all the tape apart, try and figure out, which ones lined up with each other. Add the maple stripes in, and then start gluing. After clamping, obviously take all the clamps off. And then I had the maple strips were sticking up just a little bit, so I used a hand plane to just level them everything else off so I could go on to the next step. Then I had to figure out, okay, which pieces do I want to put together? Then I restart the process with the blue tape, but I then switch the pieces to the opposite side so then I get a contrasting effect. So put the blue tape back on, use the CA glue, tape the pieces back together, sketch out a line, and then back to the bandsaw. After I got everything unclamped again, I needed a nice clean gluing edge for the final glue up, so I had to throw them through the table saw, get a nice clean flat edge. Then I put a strip of maple in the center just to offset, just to add another line, and more clamping. So one of the fun things with this process is you end up with two pieces left over from the offcuts in the middle. So what I was thinking, instead of just spending these on some other little piece like I did in the last video, what if I use these, instead of getting one plate, I ended up with three. So I found a couple other fun woods. Let's see if I can actually make some other plates out of these. Sections, I was just going to put these into the center of two more base pieces. So we're not doing the whole process, we're just adding these into the middle. Now that they're all three finally glued, we can start getting them rounded off. So the first step was to try and find center, and then put a small hole in the middle to use on my circle guide, or my circle cutting template. Just use the template on the bandsaw, just try and get them round as a starting point. So this is the first of three plates mounted up the faceplate for the lathe. And just started by getting everything around. Once it was round, flipped around so we could flatten off the bottom side and create the mortise to support in the chuck. And then started creating the shape of the bottom of the bowl, or excuse me, the plate. Once it's all shaped out, work on the sanding. And then some sanding sealer. Once the bottom was done, put it on the chuck and flipped it over on the lathe to do the inside of the bowl, and then start the whole process over. As I started working on the inside of the plate, realized my tools were sharp or not sharp. So off camera, I went off and resharpened everything. I'll have to do another video on how I do that later with my carbides. Turning out the second plate, this is the canarywood. This is the first time I've ever used canarywood. Just start out getting it round again. Turned out really orangey, yellowy color, and it has a very distinctive smell. It's kind of cool to work with. I'll definitely be working with it again if I can find some. And on to the third plate. This is the one with the white oak. This one was pretty much maxed out my lathe. It has a 12-inch diameter. Had to turn down just a little bit just to get the round shape on it. So it's just a little under 12-inch diameter. And this one really wanted to fight me. Not sure. I think it was just because of the unevenness. There was a slight curve in it after I glued it. after I got this plate turned out in a roughing shape, I realized that there were cracks in the plate going on in the white oak. So I really didn't want it exploding on me, so I had to do something about it. So I didn't really know what to do. I debated actually just breaking it off and re-gluing it back together. Decided to just try and use some CA glue in the cracks to see if that would help. So I put some in the cracks, let it fall down in there, and then let that dry overnight. Then got it back on the lathe and finish it up. And here we are at the end, all 3 plates completed. It turned out really nice. I like the contrast between the 3 different colors. The walnut one has all the curves, and the other 2 just have straight lines with the curves in the center. This turned out to be a much bigger project than I originally anticipated, just because it turned into 3 plates instead of 1. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you wish to hit the subscribe, hope you come back later. Thanks.